Hello, welcome to Tabletop Never Stop. Today we're starting a new series covering Super Fantasy Brawl. I'm calling it Know Your Champions, and today we're going to start with knowing Akhet. So let's take a look at him. His baseline stats are 7 health and 1 armor, and that 1 armor can't really make a difference. It does mean you're going to have to watch out for pulls and pushes, as that's a good way to go ahead and hit that damage through him. His first card is Take Flight. Swoop 4, then place the first champion swoop through adjacent to Akhet. This is actually a super powerful displacement ability, and since it's not an attack, there's not much the enemy can really do about it. In case you know what Swoop does, Swoop is a straight line move that ignores figures and traps, where you still have to land in an empty space, and if you ended on a trap, you take damage, but otherwise it ignores everything that it's going through, including like the statues, other figures, etc. Alright, so switching over to tabletop here real quick. Here's Akhet doing this before. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can place Goldar adjacent for extra credit here. We're going to plop him on this trap. So now he's not only is he super far away from yellow where he was trying to hold, but we set him on a trap too. Which, just for grins and giggles, look at that, it was 2 damage. And that example, the champion we were moving was an enemy, but you could of course also move an ally with Take Flight. Alright, so next we have Wingstorm. This is one of Akhet's 2 attacks. Movement of 1, range 2 straight line, and then deals 1 damage, and then 2 push. So this is another good ability. This is another great control ability. Again, tabletop it would look something like this. Movement of 1, range 2, deals 1 damage, which would do nothing to Goldar's armor, and then that would push him 2. And actually, again, if we had a trap here, he'd be stuck there. Alright, next we have From the Ashes, Akhet's reaction. After the attack, if the target was taken out of action by the attack, immediately respawn them adjacent to the attacker. This is an interesting reaction because it provides no defense. It's not going to stop an enemy from getting killed, but it can still help you hold and maintain your objectives. If the enemy doesn't have any way to displace you from an area that you're trying to control, they might instead choose to eliminate a target, and this card will prevent that from happening. Albeit, one bad thing about it is the enemy's still going to get a victory point for killing you, but hopefully on your next turn you'll be scoring some objective with this card. Also, what happens a lot is by the time an enemy kills someone and levels up, they're fairly wounded. So being able to spawn the person they killed right back in, it's probably going to be able to allow you to get a kill, since you'll be starting adjacent to them, especially if you're talking about somebody powerful. Some powerful melee unit. All of a sudden he's back in the middle of things. So that can work out pretty well, and potentially maybe they get a victory point, but hopefully you play this card next turn, you score the objective, and then maybe you get a kill too. So that could actually work out quite well in your favor. This is more of a skill card though, because there'll certainly be times where this card's basically worthless. Whereas playing reactions that give you defense, at the very least, is probably going to keep a character alive, which, maybe that's not worth spending a core on. But From the Ashes, if you use this in the wrong place, you're probably only hurting yourself. I mean, if you're spawning your glass cannon back in the middle of a big fight, you're probably, you might just be feeding points to the enemy and using up your red core. So this is definitely a more skill-based reaction than some of the other ones in the game. Next we have Healing Tears. It's a yellow card with movement of 2, and then heal of 2, which outside of lifesteal is one of the higher heal abilities that we're going to see in the game, what we've seen in the game so far. And of course you can discard a blue card from your hand to heal an adjacent ally instead. And again, this is sort of situational. Characters with armor are more likely to receive benefits from heal. Healing your glass cannons like Wrath and Gwen might be good, but there's lots of cards that deal way more than 2 damage. So if you're spending a turn healing 2, and then they're getting hit for 4 on one card next turn, is that really helping a whole lot? At the same time, when you've leveled up a character, they're more dangerous, and it would definitely benefit the enemy to remove those champions. So healing your leveled up champions can keep them in their higher status for longer, and of course helps you get the have 2 leveled up champions objective. Situationally super powerful. I think one of the things we're seeing with Akhet is he's a very skill-based champion. Like in some scenarios his powers will be super good, Others are a little bit weaker, so it's going to be a matter of knowing when to do it. All right, Inner Fire. Yellow card has a movement of 3. Return a red card from your discard pile into your hand. And Akhet's attacks gain +1 until the end of the turn. So getting a red card back is great. We're not going to go through every red card in the game, but right off the top of my head, I'd say Gwen's Fireball would be quite nice to have back, depending on the situation. And there's probably lots of other ones. I believe Corbash's attack that hits multiple targets and gets stronger the more targets he has is also red, so that could be pretty devastating. You can be able to play that multiple times in the game. Akhet's attacks getting +1 till the end of the turn is cool, but he only has 2 attacks. One is that push attack we already saw, so making that 2 damage instead of 1 is going to make a huge difference. But we will see this actually does work quite well with the leveled up version of Akhet, and we'll get to that in a minute. And finally, Death from Above is Swoop 2, which will really help you get into a good spot to use it, and area attack for 2 damage. This is a decent ability, and as we already saw, you could potentially increase it with Inner Fire. So, and then all of a sudden you have a 3 damage area of attack ability. And then this also would work well with the leveled up version of Akhet. So leveled up version of Akhet gets 1 extra health. That's nice. And then during his attack activation, you can discard any number of red cards from your hand to gaining +1 damage for each attack discarded, each red card discarded. So now we have a scenario. First action of the turn, we play Inner Fire. We pick up a red card, and then we play Death from Above. Maybe we have 2 red cards in our hand. Now maybe we have 3. You discard all those, and all of a sudden you have an area attack that would be doing, potentially 3, 4, 5 damage. That's pretty powerful, especially considering most of the time he's not really doing a lot of damage. So that is Akhet. Certainly an interesting champion. Can do a lot of things that no one else can do. 7 to 8 health with an armor. He's not quite a tank, but I think considering he's not like the most dangerous enemy in the world, I think that health is probably going to keep him alive. He's also pretty mobile, so if it feels like the enemy's trying to kill him, he has some ways to kind of get out of there. One thing I would point out is, I don't know how often you're going to see this leveled up version of him, because how many people is he really going to be killing? Heal can certainly be useful if you can find the right spot for it. And there'll definitely be games where From the Ashes comes in and really saves the day. So certainly an interesting hero. And I hope you enjoyed this this champion walkthrough. To be fair, the game's new to me too. So I'll get my terminology. I know I've been switching back and forth between hero and champion, but I'll get my terminology down. If you follow me on Instagram at Tabletop Never Stop, you can actually vote on which champion I'll be doing next. I'll have a poll in my story, so you can weigh in there. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. And thanks so much for watching. See you next time.